A very, very happy Thirsty Thursday to everyone. Welcome to the October edition of Thirsty Thursday. I see a lot of you are in here already. I'd like to say welcome. And as we start off every Thirsty Thursday, grab the beverage of your choice. Tonight for me, it is George Dickel, bottled in bond, Tennessee whiskey. This is to all of you. Happy Thirsty Thursday, and thanks for being here. Cheers. All right. We got a lot to cover tonight. We got a whole lot of stuff to go over. So let's see who's in the chat here. Deb from the mill. Hi, Deb. How are you doing? Stick around here for a few minutes because I want to talk about something that happened at Paul Bunyan. Hopefully you've received yours by now, but if not, you'll get to see it because I want to show everyone. Mount Tammany Ridge is here. Will Davidson, how are you doing, my friend? Dean from outside in Michigan, got to meet him at Paul Bunyan. Walcott Family Works is here saying good evening, and I'm going to be talking about Will here shortly as well. Brandon's here. Captain Jack from Log Cabin Firewood. How you doing, my friend? Haven't seen you in the last week or so. I know you've been working a good bit, plus you're cutting all that cherry and locust over at that property. You've been working hard on that, hauling wood into your yard. So Larry Cluck, Tie Man is here. Got to see him as well at Paul Bunyan. The Hogs Logs, Richard Titcomb, Dick from Old Guy Firewood, probably the happiest man on the stream here tonight. If you didn't catch his video, he just is the newest recipient of a Easton-made 2228 with an attached conveyor. Head on over to his channel and check out what he's got going on over there. That was awesome. He's now part of Team Orange and Blue. So congratulations on that there, my friend. I know you're going to love it. Tim Stout, Craig Wilson, whole bunch of people in here already. So we got a very good group in here. I see Valerie is in here. Man, I just got into back to the house here right about 10 minutes before the live stream started. My daughter Taylor is playing volleyball over in the next county over. And so I had to leave her volleyball game a little early before it was done. They play the best of 5 sets, and they were tied 1-1 when I had to leave. But Val did just call me and tell me that they won their 3rd set. So if they can win the 4th set, then it will be a win. So I'm waiting. She's going to chime in here, hopefully on the chat, and let me know. We got a question here already. He did it right. Make sure you type the Q's in front. That kind of grabs my attention if it's your first time here. And he said he sees I'm 150 subscribers short of 10K. If you're not subscribed, then smash that button. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. We are coming up on that mark. Hopefully it's going to happen here soon, but I really, really appreciate all the support and the new subscribers that have come on here recently. It's been a whole flood in the past couple of weeks. So that has been awesome. And I thank you all for that. Matt Weimer stopping in to say hello. They are camping. So I hope you have a good night too there, buddy. Thanks for stopping in. And Valerie said it's a win for Taylor's last volleyball game. So it's the last game of her regular season. They're off to the playoffs after this. They've been on a really, really good run lately. It's been super exciting to watch. When she started playing volleyball in 8th grade 2 years ago, I wasn't too sure if I was going to enjoy watching volleyball, but that's an exciting sport to watch. It sure is. So Taylor got a win. Congrats, Taylor. I'll see you when you get home here shortly. Make sure you stop in here and say hello to everybody on the live stream. Oh my, where are we at? Daniel, it's his very first Thirsty Thursday. Glad to be here. I think we can raise a glass to that, Daniel. Welcome to you, sir. We'll ring the bell for you as well. Cheers to that. And look at this. Joe Gilbert, my buddy Joe Gilbert, that brought the mini excavator over for that video that we did bucking all those locust logs. He is the bus driver for Taylor's volleyball team tonight. So he was sitting with me in the bleachers watching the volleyball game thinking, come on, we got to win this game, get it over with. We got Thirsty Thursday to get to. So Joe is driving the bus for the girls, and I doubt they're loaded on the bus yet. But if you all are on the bus, I'm sure Joe is letting you know that we're live. And congratulations to the varsity girls of the Perryville High School on your win. And Joe, don't be watching me while you're driving them kids. We'll be here for a little while, buddy. So once you get back, make sure you let me know how it went. It should be a good ride home. Joe's Firewood videos is here. Who else we got? Wayne Tharp has a question. And if I miss a question, because the chat goes by quick, throw it back in. Don't be afraid to repeat yourself and keep putting it in until I grab it, because if you're putting the cues in, I will bring it up. Did you settle on a name for the dump truck? Absolutely, I did. And that was one of the things I wanted to mention tonight too, is thank you all so much for the tremendous feedback on the name of the truck. I didn't know I was going to get that kind of response, but you all had some really, really good ideas. One of the names that I was considering was Nate. I thought that was pretty funny. Nate is kind of sticking with me, I guess, for life now. So I was going to try to tie that to something so that it actually meant something for real instead of a joke. But a lot of really good names. If you didn't get a chance to go through the comments on that video about the dump truck, check that out and read some of those comments. I was almost going to put a survey up to let you all vote, but my mom was looking at it and she found one that she really liked, and I kind of did too. And the name of the truck is going to be Little Red Riding Wood. Little Red Riding Wood. I think I'm even going to put it on the cab shield across the front of the dump body. So that's going to be the name of it, Wayne. Thanks for that question. That was awesome, all your responses. I got a kick out of reading all those. Uncle V says he just subscribed last week, and it's good stuff. Well, thank you, buddy. I hope you continue to enjoy it. It's an awesome group of people here in this community. So if you've got questions or if you have feedback or input, don't be afraid to jump in the chat here. It's all great people here. Outdoors with Larry and Robin, how are you tonight? Outdoor Adventures with Brayton, hello, how are you? A lot of people saying congratulations to Taylor, so that's how far behind I am in the chat. Question, where is the Halloween outfit? Well, we're going to talk about that too, because there is an outfit, but it's not for Halloween. So stand by for that information. Make Some Dust is in here. Mountaintop Outdoors, Jeff and Patty. Check out Wednesday's video. I got a special shout out for you coming up on Wednesday. You got to make sure you check that. I can't give too much away on that. Shibe, how you doing, my buddy? Haven't talked to you in a while either. We got to catch up. Winter's coming. Fall season's going to slow down here a little bit, so maybe we can get that get together scheduled at some point. The dump truck is working out good for me. I've done 3 or 4 deliveries with it now. And when I load a full cord on the truck, it is definitely full. The sideboards could probably stand to go up another 5 or 6 inches. So I'm thinking about doing that. And luckily the truck came with a tarp. So I do tarp the load, put bungee cords down the side to hold the tarp from blowing in the wind. But it's working out really, really well. It's doing exactly what my vision was and what I hoped it would do. So that is going well so far. Fire Guy 75. What's up, all? First time for a Thursday night live. I always worked. Now I'm retired, so see you every week now. Well, congratulations on your retirement first. I don't know if you're retired from the fire department or not, or if you're a volunteer or a career guy, but thank you so much for your service. And retired life is awesome. You might find yourself working a little harder now than you did when you actually worked, if you're like me, but retirement is great. And so glad you're here. Mike Geist is here. Joe's Firewood videos with a super chat. Let's ring the bell for Joe. For the Detroit Lions sending MSU players Sunday in their uniforms. They had a rough game, Joe. Detroit had a rough game. First of all, we'll toast to that. Cheers. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate that. And so if you're not aware, Joe and I have a little side bet going on. He bet me that the Detroit Lions and Michigan would beat the Ravens and Maryland coming up here. The Ravens just played this past weekend, and the Michigan game's coming up here soon. Well, the Ravens won. So now if Maryland beats Michigan, then Joe's going to send me a hybrid shirt of Joe's Premium Firewood and Firewood at the Furnace. Now, if the Lions had won and Michigan had won, I was going to have to send him a whiskey glass and a sweatshirt from Firewood at the Furnace. But that didn't happen. The Ravens won, so the worst I can do now is a tie, which will be a wash. Nobody does anything. But if Maryland upsets Michigan, which is going to be a tough battle, I will win that bet. So we'll see what happens. Another super chat here. David, I'm an IT guy that rides a Harley and loves to cut ups. Great channel from Pennsylvania. Well, thank you, David, very much. You know, I love the Harleys. I don't get to ride them as much as I used to, but they're still here, and we get out on them when we can. But I appreciate your support. Thank you for that, and cheers to you. Larry is here from Wentworth, North Carolina. Thank you for being here, buddy. Donald Slate. No, this is not the mini Glencairn. This is the actual one. The mini one is in the house on my bourbon bar. But that thing is pretty cool. It's been a topic of conversation a few times when we've had people over. Another question here from William Klein. Have you decided if you're going to put a new steel bed in your dump truck? I think that is what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to get through this delivery season. I'm going to get through, all the use that I need to make of it right now, currently. And go ahead and do that, because a lot of people commented on that truck with that 6.5 liter Detroit diesel in that Chevy truck. That's what they put in those trucks back then. They were notorious for having a few different problems. One of them was the PDM, which is basically what helps control the lift pump to give fuel to the engine. I don't know all the ins and outs, but it was a known problem. And where it was mounted from the factory was right in the area of the motor where it gets a lot of heat. And anything electronic, when it gets hot, it fails. And that's what they were doing. They were failing. So they make a relocation kit to move it away from the motor on the firewall or on the inside fender, whatever, to keep it a little bit more away from the heat, which helps prevent that from failing. After a lot of your suggestions on that and comments on the video, I popped the hood, took a look, and it had already been done. So a lot of that stuff had already been taken care of. So I'm growing more and more comfortable with the reliability of this truck. So I think I am going to go ahead and maybe over the winter, once firewood delivery season's completely done, go ahead and put a new floor in that truck. Outdoor Adventures with Brayton. Yes, I did. I mentioned that earlier. I don't want to give too much of his thunder away, because if you're not watching Dick on Old Guy Firewood on his channel, make sure you go check him out. Give him some love and some support. He's a great guy. He's a hard worker, and he's doing things that most guys his age are definitely not doing, and he's a super fantastic guy. So check out what he got over on that channel, and he's going to be going hard now, I guarantee you. Shive said he would have called it Red Rocket. That would have been funny too. Yeah, Red Rocket would have been funny. Joseph, I need help in New York to get a YouTube page up. I'm trying to save my farm here and need a hand. Thank you for the shout out last time. I am stuck at Joe the Grower. I don't know where in New York you are, but if anybody's up in that area and knows Joe and might be able to give him a hand, that would be awesome. Another question here. How much did you underestimate the amount of locust rounds you had to split up? Well, I thought it was going to be about 3 cord, maybe a little bit over 3 cord. And between the two dump trailers and the little bit that I put in the dump truck, it was just barely shy of 3 cord, and there's at least another 2 cord laying there. So I'm guessing at this point it was about 2 cords short. Still got some stacking to do. York Firewood is here. How are you doing there, Ken and Danny? I assume if he's not in bed yet, hello to both of you. I'm just trying to get caught up here on the chat because once I get started on these announcements for the fellowship, we're going to be talking for quite a little bit. Matthew Harris Studio from Principio, almost to 10,000 subs. Yes, sir. It's good to see you in here. I need to stop down and talk to you. It's been a little while. He's got a metal shop right down there at the furnace, and he's a blacksmith and makes some. If you watch the video about the history of the furnace, I showed some of his work in that video, and he's a great guy. And it's good to see you here, my friend. Will, how did Chaz enjoy Paul Bunyan? Well, we will table that question here for a few minutes because I think he's on his way. So if he doesn't show up, remind me and I will address that question. But I think that would be better answered personally by him. I think he is on his way now. He was coming from dinner. Joe said they're loaded up on the way home with the volleyball team. Hillbilly Heat. Sorry, I did just mention that. I'm not sure if you were here because I am so far behind in the chat, but the name for the dump truck is Little Red Riding Wood. Little Red Riding Wood. Firewood from the sawmill. Brad, it was great to meet you at the ripsaw tent. Have you decided if you're going to have your 500i ripsaw? Yeah, man, that was pretty impressive. I give it to them ripsaw guys, and Tin Man was there, and I was talking to him a little bit, and when I was talking to Buckin, and I don't know what they're doing to those saws, and Buckin seems to think it's a combination of what Ripsaw's doing to the saws, and he thinks Steel may have made some adjustments in the production of that saw. He was kind of ripping on it there for a little while, but it's definitely a different animal. That saw runs way better. Whatever they're doing to those saws, it was impressive to watch. Chat just updated here. Taylor is in the chat. I don't know if she's watching with her volleyball team, but Taylor, congratulations, and congratulations to all the Panther varsity volleyball team. I'm glad you guys came back and got that win. That was awesome. Make sure Joe's driving you safe. I don't know if she's on the bus or coming home with her mom. Normally after the wins like that, she likes to ride with the team because it's a pretty exciting ride home. All right. We got 153 people in here right now. That's awesome. If you haven't clicked the like button, please do that. It always helps out, and it's free. Old Guy Firewood just passed 5,000 subs last Saturday. I never imagined this hobby would grow so large. Thanks for support and encouragement from all of you. Well, I can totally understand what you're saying there, buddy. That what started out as kind of like something I wasn't even sure if I was going to continue to do. It's just I feel like I'm on top of a wave and it just hasn't broke yet. And it's pretty awesome that we're all able to be surfing together, if you want to use that analogy. Because never in a million years did I think I would be doing this after retirement. Shive with a super chat. Payment for the name change to Red Rocket. Well, my name is Brad, and you all call me Nate. So the dump truck can be called Little Red Riding Wood, and you all can refer to it as Red Rocket, I guess. You'll have to consult with my mother on that because she was kind of the influence on me picking that name. But anyway, cheers to you, my friend. Thank you for the super chat. That's funny. Jack, no, I am not getting tuned in tonight. That's not the plan anyway. I've got a lot of work to do tomorrow at the yard. Bundle stand got wiped out this evening, completely wiped out clean. So I've got to refill that first thing in the morning before the weekend here. And then all the other stuff that I've got to get done over there as well. Camp's Corner. I have a small welding biz on the side when I'm not doing firewood. If you wanted help whenever you put a new floor in the truck, I live over in northern Baltimore County. Awesome. I will keep that in mind. Steel is just so expensive right now. I mean, I don't know if it's always that way or I've never priced it before. In my mind, I thought it would be about one price and it's a total different price. But I was kind of shocked when I looked up what it was going to cost for a couple sheets of steel to put in there. I think the most difficult part of that's going to be cutting the old floor out. That's probably going to be a little bit of a tedious task. Everything Elliot is in here. And Rachel is here. I'm not sure if her hubby's in here or not, Heath, but hardworking man crew looks like they've joined us tonight. So welcome. Jim said he almost missed us again, but he's here. So hello. Glad you're here, Jim. Pins. Oh, yes. I do have the pins. They're on a different hat, actually, if you're talking about those hat pins. I broke out the orange firewood at the furnace hat tonight to match my orange shirt, which I'm going to show you here in just a second as well. Mountaintop Outdoors wants to nickname the truck Big Nate. It's a little truck. I don't think there's really anything big about that, but it's funny because somebody mentioned in the comments that truck and my pickup truck are basically the same style, size of vehicle, just different eras of time. And if you think about it, trucks have really gotten a lot bigger over the last 20, 30 years. Firewood from the Sawmill, would you consider a name amendment to Little Red Hollinwood, or is the name set in stone? Well, I guess we could consider that. Little Red Hollinwood or Little Red Ridingwood. I'll have to think about that one. I didn't realize there would be such an interest in the name of this truck, but I love it. Somebody says the splitter needs to be named Nate. Yeah, Jack, $2,600 is a lot for a saw, but and there's the metal guy right there that knows steel is pricey and stainless is hateful. There's a man that works with metal every day, so maybe it's not just me. Maybe it is just a little bit ridiculous right now. Look who it is, Sushi Sam, Super Chat. When are you coming to get your trailer loads of black birch? Go Red Rocket. Man, you guys are going to make me refill here real early tonight. Cheers to you, buddy. And I know I mentioned at the beginning of the live stream to Deb that I was going to show something, and now Sam just reminded me here. But if you didn't check out the live stream at Paul Bunyan, Sam, let me give you a little backstory here. A couple years ago, or year and a half ago, when Shibe, myself, and Darren from Woodruff Woods all went up to Iron and Oak Sawmill and met Chuck and Deb, we milled some black walnut. And most of that black walnut went back to Sam's house. And Sam took some of that black walnut and fabricated and made this mallet and gifted it to me at the Paul Bunyan show. He made several of them, one for Deb, one for Shibe, one for me, and one for Darren. And he laser engraved Chuck's photo, and it says, "In loving memory of our friend and fellow woodhound Charles Robert Rogers, Chuck," and his date of birth and date of death on there. And he's got an oak insert in the center here and some iron on the bottom of the mallet to commemorate the iron and oak sawmill channel, and the walnut is obviously what we milled. So that's probably about the most thoughtful and amazing gift that I've ever received personally. So again, Sam, I know we joke around a lot and we give each other a hard time, but I am very, very grateful and thankful for not only the time and effort that you put into doing that for us, but for the memory as well. So not to bring down the mood in the house, but thank you so much, Sam. I greatly, greatly appreciate that. David Bentley, hello from Chesapeake, Ohio, I think. Love your videos. I appreciate that. The Ram is running well. The Dodge Ram always runs well. Big D has, knock on wood, never let me down. Franklin Outdoors has a question. What kind of volume of firewood do you sell or move each year? Is it mainly seasonal or year-round in your area? So the heating wood is seasonal. August, September, October, November, I'm moving all the wood out of the wood yard. And basically from about this time until Easter, I'm trying to produce and process as much firewood as I can to get it stacked in the rows and drying and seasoning for the following year. Right now I'm doing about 50 full cord a year, which is 150 face cord a year. I'm shooting for about 75 next year because I sell out every year, and I'm just trying to grow it a little bit each year. I'm going to talk about that some more on Wednesday's video about what I'm going to concentrate on for this coming year. But right now it's about 50 cord, and bundles sell year round. I mean, the heat of the summer, campfire bundles and small quantities slow down a little bit. But spring and fall is really busy for that. And even the wintertime, I sell a few bundles. Oh, there's Darren right there. He is in the house from Woodruff Woods. How you doing, buddy? Glad to see you here. All right. Are we almost caught up here? Oh, we got a super chat from Darren. Salute the Chuck. I will be seeing Deb on Sunday. Well, make sure you tell her that I said hello. I'm not sure if she's still in the chat or not, but I think we should all try to, all of us that were up there for that and people that live local, I think we should definitely try to see her and stay in touch a little more with her. But absolutely salute to Chuck. Cheers. And with that, I need a little refill. All right. Thank you, Darren. Definitely appreciate the super chat there, buddy. And another one right here behind it from Backyard Firewood. Still waiting for the Lions Ravens smack talk. So disappointed. So we were talking about that a few minutes ago, but I mean, I think if we want to talk a little bit of smack, I think Joe was a little foolish for even doubting the Baltimore Ravens. Everybody got so excited about the Detroit Lions because they were doing so well and they're going to the Super Bowl this year. But let's be honest, they're still the Detroit Lions. Who? The Detroit Lions. I mean, they're not even on anybody's radar, really, are they? So that was kind of a silly bet right from the get-go. Great question here, Ken. Are you going to increase prices? Well, if you've been following along with the channel and you've been keeping up with the talk I said about hobby versus business, you know that in my mind, I've been transitioning a little bit more towards the business side, small business side, than I am a hobbyist anymore. And it's still a mental struggle in my mind as to what I am. But the reality of the situation is that I've got to take steps to protect myself, protect my family. And I've obtained commercial insurance. I've obtained a commercial auto policy, limited liability policy, and I've got all these other expenses now that I didn't have before. So obviously it only makes sense that I can't just absorb that additional cost. I have got to make some adjustments. So yes, next year I will be spreading that cost out a little bit. I'm not going to go crazy with a price hike because I'm not trying to I don't even know what the words are. I'm not trying to rip people off is basically what I'm trying to say. But it's a lot of time, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of effort, and now it's more expenses for me. So I've got to make up that cost. So yes, I don't know what they're going to be yet, Ken, but I will be making some adjustments. Great question there, buddy. Who's leaving here? I saw somebody say, oh, Larry Cluck's leaving. Have a good night, Larry. Thanks for stopping in. We are at 8:30 already, so I definitely need to get on with the information I want to pass on to everybody tonight. AMP Overdrive RS. Could you do a video about going that commercial route? Yeah, I'll do another video and talk a little bit more about some of the cost increases and some of the coverages that I have now and the reasons why I decided to have them. I will touch on that again here soon in another video. But yeah, without going into too much detail, because it's different for everybody's situation, but I will touch on mine as well. Look who it is, Shifty, the man himself. Shifty, I just made a drink. Eyedropper's empty. I doubled up though. I put 5 drops in instead of 2 or 3. Super chat. Good evening, Nate and Woodhounds. Mother Nature and I are not getting along this week. I saw that, buddy. I've been there. Fortunately, it's going to be beautiful here this weekend. Talking about 82, 85 degrees this weekend. Cheers, my friend. I see you're loving that 5-way wedge now. That's probably going to make the perfect wood for your boiler. All right, we are pretty much caught up. So, Sushi Sam, perfect segue, my friend. What is the date of the fellowship? So hold your questions here for a few minutes because I've got a lot to cover. If you want to chat amongst yourselves in there, I'm not going to be monitoring the chat for the next few minutes because I've got a whole list of stuff written down that I want to talk to you about. And I guess the main thing that I need to tell you all right now is that the fellowship date will be Sunday, January 28th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. I know that I originally said that it was going to be around the first weekend of February, but Sunday, January 28th is when Andrew Easton and his family will be traveling south on their way to vacation, and that's when they're going to be coming through. So Sunday, January 28th is the day that Andrew can show up to the fellowship, and that's when he will be there. We have a visitor. I told you he might be coming, and he just showed up. Chaz is here. Everybody welcome Chaz. We'll get into that after we get through this. How about that? What's up, buddy? How was dinner?
Great.
Good. We're just talking about the fellowship, making all the announcements. There's a couple questions for you that we need to get to after this. But I want to get through this here first. So next thing, we are going to have an online registration form if you plan on coming. So if you plan on coming, you can scan this QR code that's on your screen right now, or you can go to the website, firewoodatthefurnace.com. And there's a link there you can click on to register as well. But that will kind of help give me an idea of how many people to expect, help me prepare for parking, help me prepare for food, help me prepare for what the day is going to bring. Some of the questions on there will be like your email address, how many people total are coming with your party. If you're bringing a splitter, let me know that information, an Easton-made splitter, that is, because this is an Easton-made event for everybody to touch and feel and run Easton-made equipment.
They're going to bring their 880s.
Saws. So that's another good question. So last year we had saws running everywhere, and this year I'm making a few changes, and I'll talk about all those. But one of the changes that I'm going to make is I'm going to have less cutting, more splitting. I'm going to try to have a lot of the wood already cut up and bucked up in rounds for everybody, because last year saws were running all over the place, and it made to be honest with you, it just made me a little nervous. So we'll have a cutting area. Maybe if the grapple truck is done by then, we can unload some logs and cut right off the grapple. But we'll figure that out as the date gets closer.
That thing will need historic tags. by the time we get back.
Well, hopefully we're making progress, but it's very slow progress. So there, I'm going to leave that QR code up there for a couple more minutes if you want to scan that with your
Any
phone.
beverages?
Yeah, in the fridge are some beverages over there for you. So the shirt. Nobody mentioned the shirt yet because you can't really see it. But check out these shirts. This is going to be an event shirt, the Fellowship at the Furnace, with, of course, the furnace, the eagle, which is a memorial to my father. Easton made wood splitters on the back. And shirts will be available as well for sale. And all of the proceeds from the sale of these shirts will help me offset the event costs. So it's things like the food, things like the porta pots, the portable toilets, things to get ready. Joe Gilbert may be running a shuttle service for us. So any costs that we incur to host this event, you can get a shirt, and there's a couple dollars left over that will kind of help offset that stuff for me. Yeah, I'm going to get to that as well. There will be a rain date, but we're hoping that doesn't happen. But the shirts are also on the website for sale. And if you'd like to order a shirt, there's a QR code there that you can scan that will take you to the order form to order yourself a shirt ahead of time. After January 1st, I'm closing that out. No more fellowship orders will be taken after January 1st. So you can either scan the QR code that's on your screen now for the t-shirts, or go to the website, firewoodatthefurnace.com. And both of the links are there right at the home screen for the registration and for the shirts. There will be a liability waiver form, just like last year, that everybody will need to sign when they come. And that just, kind of covers my butt a little bit because there's a lot of equipment running, a lot of people moving around. But for the first 100 people that show up and sign the waiver form, you will receive a Fellowship at the Furnace sticker. So I've got 100 of those to give out to the first 100 people. And once you sign that form, you'll get your sticker. Raffles. We're going to have some raffles going on that day. We're going to have things like a custom built steel firewood rack that's powder coated, custom built by my mom's friend Rick. We're going to be selling raffle tickets for things like that. I'm sending a box full of axe heads out to Tim Van Dusen, who is going to hopefully be able to get an axe or two back to us before that time. And if we get those back, we will be raffling off a Van Dusen axe and a couple other surprise goodies that we will have there that day. Food. We'll be doing the burgers and dogs and stuff like last year, but Will from Walcott Family Farms, who I believe is in the chat now. I'm not looking at the chat, so if anybody's asking questions or whatever, you're going to have to hold them for me just for a few more minutes. But he has volunteered to smoke pork for the event. So we'll have smoked pork sandwiches for the event. And that's another reason why I really need people to register if they can, because I need to give him a rough head count about a week or two before the event so that he can prepare properly. So basically, I need registrations completed by Thursday, January the 18th, which just happens to be my birthday. That way we can have a good idea of the number of people. Parking was an issue last year. So parking this year, we're going to rope it off a little better so people don't go too far down into the yard just in case it's soft. But we will rope that off. We will have some overflow parking if needed. And depending on the responses to the registrations, we will adjust as needed, kind of move on the fly. But we're going to have a backup plan. I I said the times are 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you're planning on bringing a splitter, please plan to be there by 8 so that we can get you set up and get the splitter in position and everything, kind of the logistics worked out for how that's going to go. And volunteers. I don't need many, but if I could grab a couple volunteers, somebody wants to show up a little early, I will need help with things like parking cars, filling out the waiver forms. Patty was great last year from Mountaintop Outdoors taking care of the waiver forms, but she kind of got stuck on that all day and didn't get to really move around as much as she probably wanted to. So we can switch out throughout the day. But if anybody would be interested in kind of doing that, it will take you away from the activities for a little bit. But that's just something that we will need. That's pretty much everything. So now I'm going to jump back into the comments and try to catch up for any questions you all might have as far as that goes. I know that's a lot of information. Here's one. Will shirts be available online? Yeah, if you go to the website, firewood@thefurnace.com, you can click the link and order the shirts right there. Yes, Ken, there were a lot of donuts last year. People brought bourbon and donuts. That's what everybody brought. Everybody that showed up was either handing me a bottle of bourbon or carrying a box of Dunkin' Donuts. So that was awesome. And I'm very thankful for that as well. Make sure that Jeff does the cooking. He did a great job last year as well. Hopefully Jeff will be able to move around a little bit more because now that he's a salesman for Easton Made and a vast knowledge of those machines, yep, he will be able to help out and answer questions until Andrew arrives. Oh my goodness, 147 people in the chat and only 31 likes. Help us out a little bit there. If you haven't clicked that thumbs up, please do. York Firewood says the Axis will be there. That's awesome. Looking forward to you and Danny coming down again. Yep, the Easton Made sales rep will be on location. David Edwards is here. How you doing, buddy? Jeff does have an official card. I think I have one of his cards, but yeah, he is official for sure. This is a good point, Ken. Parking wasn't a problem last year. Just getting out was the problem. Maybe we'll have a tow truck on standby as well.
The SBL 97 over with forks.
Yeah, he's got a Kubota skid loader, and maybe he can. The heavy Chevy from Shibe last year was doing the towing. He's got a brand new transmission this year. Dan says, if you want it to rain, I can attend. You've had a bad run of rain there with the Midwest Firewood Frenzy. I'm hoping that the weather holds. What I really hope happens is that it gets cold, and the ground freezes, and we can park wherever we want. That would be awesome. Jeremy says, Chaz, it's fun to watch your equipment run when I pick up wood. I always try to show some of that.
We also have some black walnut slabs out there. If any of them want to buy some and take them back with them.
Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of, me and him just stacked and stickered some black walnut slabs in the yard the other night. Just the two of us, and they were big and heavy, and my back was sore the next morning.
Got some bar room tops.
Yeah. Have the waiver form sent out as part of the event registration. Yeah, I could do that, but then the problem there is when people show up, I don't know if they've already filled out the form or not. So I think it would just be easier if when you come, you just sign the form. That way we know we got it. Jack will have his 916 there, just like last year, which is awesome. It would be really cool if we could get one of each machine from the Ultra all the way up to the 37D. But that's going to be tough to do. I know that we're going to have the Axis. We're going to have the 916. We're going to have the 1222. We're going to have a 2228. So, I mean, that's half of the line of splitters right there. And who knows what might happen if somebody else wants to bring a splitter. Walcott Family Works. We will be doing 2 kinds of pulled pork, a spicier one and a sweeter one. Man, they are going all out for us. Give him some love. Give Will some love there. He volunteered to do this on his own, and it is going to be awesome.
You using like a pig cooker or just a regular?
I don't know. He said he's going to bring everything that he needs, and I don't have to worry about it. Shive says he'll bring the 1222 if needed, and we'll talk. Hopefully you don't have drill that weekend. I know you mentioned that you were going to try to switch that up, but I hope you can make it. I see these people filling out the forms. They're coming through the email, so thank you all for getting on top of it early. That will help me out greatly. Kent has a question. Can we buy and get shirts shipped if we are too far away to attend? You absolutely can. You don't have to come to the event to purchase a shirt. The proceeds from anyone who purchases a shirt will help the event as well. So absolutely. I lost my spot in the, there we go. I found it. Mountaintop Outdoors with a question. How much for a black walnut slab? I want it for a project we talked about, Brad. Jeffrey, we will talk, buddy. I don't know what size you need, but we'll talk and work something out. What's the buzz? How are you doing? Back 40 Firewood, it wouldn't be all right if we didn't get some snowflakes. Make it feel really like Midwest firewood season. Yeah, Dan might be getting some snow out that way. Tony, PC's Outdoors. Maybe I can pick up my machine at the fellowship. Yeah, I don't know where you are on the list or when your machine's supposed to be done. But yeah, maybe that'll work out. He wasn't afraid to tow anything down the road with him last year when he arrived. So we'll see how that works or when your machine's going to be ready there. What exactly is this event taking place? Oh, where? Okay, so this is in Maryland. It's in Cecil County, Maryland, which is the northeastern corner of the state. The county borders both Delaware and Pennsylvania. So if you look at a map at the state of Maryland, the very top right-hand corner of the state is where we are. So I'm not sure where you are in Pennsylvania there, but we are 20 minutes south of Oxford, Nottingham area, about an hour south of Philadelphia.
Right on 40 and Susquehanna River.
Yep. So Tin Man Sauls, what's up, my friend? I was just talking about you earlier. If you've been watching the channel, buddy, I greatly appreciate that. I watch you all the time and would never try to tackle the things you do, but I certainly like watching you do them. Tin Man is the guy with Buck and Paul Bunyan.
Oh yeah.
That builds those ports those saws. So Tin Man, good to see you here, buddy.
Maybe if he comes, I'll give him a couple saws.
He's a busy man. He is a busy man. He makes some saws rip for sure. Kent, are shirts available up to a 4X? I'll have to check the website and make sure. But if it's not, I will make that adjustment to make sure that they are available. Here we go. Slide on over here so they can hear you. You're a soft talker. Will, you know Will.
Yeah.
He wants to know how you enjoyed Paul Bunyan.
I enjoyed it. A lot of funny guys there. It's hard to believe how big the wood community is, but also how small it is and how tight everybody is. It's like a family reunion there.
That's a good way to put it.
You know?
Yeah. So when Chaz first got there, I think he might have been, he didn't say this, but I think he might have been a little uncomfortable because he didn't know anybody. And now after he met everyone and got to know a lot of people there, he called me up the other night and said, "Are you having your live stream?" And I told him, "Yep, this Thursday." And he said, "I'd like to come. I feel like I know some of these guys now. So when the names come across the screen, I'll actually know who I'm talking to." So he had a good time for sure. Look at that. Jack says you're part of the family now. For sure.
I watched Jack on his show. I need to give him a little bit of saw tips.
Uh-oh.
It's a
Well,
little close to the ground when he's trying to saw way through a little bit. Gotta show him how to do
that happens. He hit his driveway the other day too, he said on one of his videos. But I hit the ground almost at some point, almost every day I run a saw. You try not to, but you get in a hurry, or at the end of the day, you start getting a little tired.
Yeah, but you don't want to sharpen a saw when you get tired. You give up.
Look what Shive said.
What?
Congrats on the nice buck.
Hey, thanks. Should I show you what just came across?
Yeah, show him. Shive will love it.
I think this is the daddy of the buck I just shot.
So this just came across his trail camera. I don't know if you noticed me shaking my head earlier, and I don't know how good this is going to show up, but this just came across his trail camera here a few minutes ago. Look at that monster.
Good Lord.
It's after dark though. That boy he's smart enough to not come out in the middle of the day.
We gotta wait for the ladies to get nice and ready.
Yep. That's coming soon. Jeremy Dirksen says he loved Bunyan, meeting everyone. How did I miss you when I was talking to Brad? It was good to meet you. Thank you. It was great to meet you as well, Jeremy. Chaz was walking around buying a lot of stuff. He bought rope. He bought saws. He bought snatch blocks. What else did you buy? Chain.
Oh yeah, I had 4 cases of chain shipped to me from the Oregon guy.
Yeah, so
bars.
He was with me a lot of the time, but not all of the time. Jeffrey said, Chaz is awesome. We welcome you.
Thank you. I think at this thing, we ought to get some guys to bring their 880s and show them that there was a discussion about the 395 XPs versus the 880s.
There's always a discussion about a little friendly competition about this steel versus Husky thing. And, when Will came up, he brought his Husky and he proved my point. No matter how fast a Husky might be, if you start at this, if you have a green light that says go, and your saws are sitting on the ground, not running, I'll have the one whole log bucked up before you get the Husky even started.
That's why we need to
cranking.
That's why we need to
I'm just messing with Will. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a steel guy. I don't bash anybody that runs Huskies. They're good.
I run steels. I just run like that 395 to take for the big saw.
James says you were walking around with your eyes wide open at Bunyan.
I was, and you know what? They wouldn't even sell me any equipment because I live outside the jurisdiction. Do you believe they have it?
Yeah, that was funny and surprising to me that Chaz was actually looking at buying like one of the mini dingo loaders or a skid loader or one of those rubber tired loaders he was looking at. And everybody he went up to with the bigger equipment that I wouldn't normally talk to a salesman about because I'm not buying something like that, but he was interested. Every salesman he talked to would tell him about the equipment, but they weren't allowed to sell it to him because he lived in Maryland and he was outside of their sales area, which was crazy to me. Like, you would think that they come into these shows, they want to sell their equipment, right?
Yep.
But I guess they have rules or whatever that you've got to sell in your own area. That was pretty wild. I hit the ground while using Brad's 500 with a huge bar on it. That was a big bar for you, Will. If you stood the saw up next to you, you had to reach up to grab it. All right, we got a question. I hope Chaz has enough tree service jobs lined up to supply the fellowship at the furnace event.
Well, let's have him answer the question. How much wood does Brad need to have lined up for you guys that day?
It depends on how many people show up.
Well, they'll answer the question. We'll make sure it's there.
All right.
And then it's a challenge, see if they get it all done.
Oh, I see what we're doing here. No, I mean, I'm sure that we're going to have plenty of
How
wood
many
there.
cord you got right now lined up with?
I think there's about 6 or 8 cord laying on the ground right now, still in log form. I really got to
So
get,
about an apprentice truckload.
I really got to get that going on. Tin Man, thank you, buddy. Good Lord. Super chat from Tin Man. Thank you, sir. I definitely appreciate that. It was so great to meet you. I know we've already hashed through this, but you're a very cool dude. Let me just say that. Very, very cool dude.
Who was the guy with the chocolate chip cookies?
I don't remember that, but Tin Man was the guy when I was interviewing Buckin, and I called him over into the camera, and he came over and he was like, "Hey, what's up, everybody?" He's got his own YouTube channel too, and I watch him all the time, but I don't really comment or interact with him because it's not something that I do.
Yeah.
But I like to watch him get in there, and he ports these saws and explains what he does and why he does it and what effects it has on the saws. You can learn a lot, but it's not. I don't have a saw that I can screw up, and I think that's something that I mentioned to him that day. I said, how many saws did you mess up before you got it right?
Right.
Because it's just like riding when I was learning to ride a motorcycle in, motor school when I was a trooper. The only way to learn how to do it right is to drop the bike, is to crash the bike. And you got to fall down before you can pick it up.
Hopefully you're able to get back up.
Yeah. So I think you got to have some saws at your disposal to learn how to do what he does. But thank you, sir. I greatly appreciate that, my friend. Another super chat. Look who it is, Joe. Ohio wood burner in the house. Too hot for firewood, taking the weekend off. Stay cool, Brad. Well, I hope you got a Dr. Pepper with you tonight, and cheers to you on that. I wish we would have had more time to talk at Paul Bunyan there, Joe, but I know you were only there the one day. You had to get your daughter home from school, and that's always number one priority. But hopefully next year, maybe I can join the party a little early. Obviously, that's up to you, my friend, but it would be great to spend some time with you and get to know you a little better. James has a question. Will would have an advantage, not as far to lift the saw off the ground. He takes a beating, man, but he's a good sport. Maybe we'll have a get together prior to the fellowship, Will, and you can come up and redeem yourself while we try to buck these logs up and get them ready for the fellowship. We'll get you, Jack, maybe Shive will come down. Anybody else that's nearby, we can have about a half a dozen of us, and we'll just buck the logs up maybe a week or two before the fellowship. What do you say? I'll take you all out to lunch.
20 cord, he said.
20 cord what?
30 cord.
Oh, for the fellowship? No way. No,
Just
we're not going
saying,
to do that much.
Why not?
No, we didn't do that.
You're going to have it already bucked up.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it depends on how many splitters we got.
If you have 5 splitters running, you're saying you do a cord an hour. That's 5, 6,
Yeah.
7 hours. We can do 30 cord. Let's see what
Good
happens.
Lord, that's a lot of wood. I think Jeff is probably a little more realistic. 10 cord.
Well, we already got that.
Yeah, but I'm going to be processing that between now and then. We got to keep more coming in. 25 to 30 cords. Yeah, I think we did like 7 cord last year. I think Jack's about right. I think we did between 7 and 8 cord. So this year, I think Jeff's probably right on the money. If we had 10 cord, we'd have enough to get through the day. And if we don't get it all,
do is you need to have stations with a bunch of wood.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have the splitters set up strategically throughout the yard, and we're going to have rounds piled up next to where the splitters are going to be stationed, and the splitters can just run.
Yeah.
People can rotate around the yard and run whatever splitter they want to run. We'll have the axis going when Ken brings that down, just like we did last year with the IBC totes. And as the IBC totes fill up, we'll move them out of the way, bring a new one in. The axis will be splitting bundle wood, and everybody else will be splitting heating wood.
Axis?
That's that vertical machine. Yeah, we do need the grapple truck going. Yeah, we do. That's kind of a sore subject.
We'll probably end up buying another one while we're waiting.
It's a really sore subject, to be honest with you.
I stopped up there today.
Obi had the cookies. That's right, Rachel. Thank you. Obi did have really good cookies. You're talking about in the lobby of the hotel.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about somebody that had cookies at the show. Yes,
Was
they were.
Obi going to be there?
Obi is from Ohio. I'm not sure if he'll be making the trip or not, and I haven't seen him in
We
here.
need Obi to come.
Obi's a good guy.
We had dinner with the hardworking man.
Yeah, Buckin called me my bearded friend. He did. We had what? Dinner with the hardworking man and Rachel.
And Rachel.
Yep, and Jack.
Well, what was funny is they said it was a long wait, hour and a half wait. So then we went to another restaurant, and then our seat was ready at this restaurant. So we jumped in the vehicle and drove to that restaurant. We got our food, and then they said our table was ready at the other restaurant.
Yeah, that was a funny story. We wanted to go to this steakhouse, which ended up being really good. I think it was called, what was it called? Black Bear Steakhouse, or I don't remember the name of it. It was basically the only decent place to eat around Cambridge, Ohio. And they said they had an hour and a half wait or something. So Rachel and Heath went there to make the reservation and to grab the table. They told them how long the wait was. So I said, we're not going to wait that long. So we found another place that had like a 45-minute wait. So we all drove there. We got there and they said it was like an hour wait. And in the meantime, while we were waiting there,
20 minutes.
The first place called, the place we wanted to go to originally, and said, your table's ready. So we all loaded up in the car and drove back. And while we were eating our dinner, the other place said our table was ready. So it was a fiasco, but it ended up being a really good meal. And I think we'll definitely go back there again next year.
What date is the Paul Bunyan next year?
It's always the first weekend in October. Brandon, what about the 660 clone? It's still here sitting on the shelf. But between the 500i and the 261, I don't really use the clones anymore. Those clone saws, for the price I've been through this many times. For the price that you pay to purchase one, it's a really good learning experience to build a saw. And I ran those saws before I had the 500 and the 261, and they still run. But it's still here, and if anybody wanted to try it out, I can make sure it's there that day. Chaz, whenever you're having saw lessons, Jack is open for one.
All right. Bring your saw along.
WD30. Super chat to anyone thinking the jokes hurt. Trust me, I love it, and they don't. Brad has never had bad intentions. Love this guy for who he is as a family man and as a friend. Will, if I thought I was hurting your feelings, I wouldn't do what I do. And I was always told that if somebody is busting your balls to your face, they must like you. You only got to worry about the guy that talks behind your back. Cheers, buddy.
I wasn't picking on Jack either. I like you. That's why I was supposed to.
Yeah. I mean, you got to have thick skin. I mean, guys that are in this type of community and do this type of work, you got to have thick skin. ZKT Outdoors. Brad, do you need another dump trailer for the fellowship? I have a 16-foot big Tex with a 4-foot sides I can bring down. We are in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Well, I've got my two. I've got my boss's Todd's. I've got Joe's, and I've got Jack's. So I think we've got 5, 6 if we need it. So I think we're good. But I will definitely keep you in mind if we get to a point where I think we might need it.
Let's say the ground's hard and it's not wet. You can always bring my dump truck over and put that underneath
the conveyor.
Yeah,
we might do that anyway.
Yeah, because you can always,
Yeah. So I think we're good on that. But thank you so much for the offer, and I will keep you in mind. And if I get to a point where I think I might need it, I might reach out to you there. We are in overtime, so thank you all for sticking around. There's still 152 of us in here. We're going to go however long it takes. RG Productions won with a super chat. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. And glad you're here tonight as well. Hope you can make the fellowship this year. It's I know you guys were running out last year. but it is going to be on a Sunday. So hopefully you can hang out and meet everybody. Walcott Family Works. Go big now, Brad. Get a big jump on fall sales. Yeah. Yep. I agree. Mount Tammany Ridge with a question. Does Will have a saw with auto tune on it? It would be convenient for the difference in altitude that the saw generally operates at. That's a good one. That's a good one. Jeff, that is the question, buddy. That is definitely the question. How fast can you stack? Because the trailers will, I mean, let's face it, we've got Easton made equipment running in the whole yard. We're going to make firewood pretty quick.
Bring your wives.
We're going to make firewood quick. The slowest part of the operation is the stacking. So the quicker we get the trailers empty, the quicker we can fill them up again. That's a great point. Hey, Marlon is here. Hey, you came up to me and said you couldn't get that Eagle Rare, or you had a tough time finding it. Once everybody had their share that I poured out on the table for at the hotel lobby, there was some left, and I figured you might as well take it home, buddy. So I hope you enjoyed it or are enjoying it tonight. 20 cord is the challenge. I'd say that's a good challenge. But listen, last year I took a little bit of flack. Everybody said that I was only doing this event to get my wood split and stacked for free. And I get it. It was much appreciated. But this event is for fellowship, and it's to give everybody a chance to see, touch, feel, and run Easton made equipment. Whatever firewood we get done is a bonus. So if we get 2 cord done and everybody has a great time, it's a win. If we get 20 cord done and everybody has a great time, it's a win. So there's Jeremy Funk in the house. What's up, Jeremy? Uh-oh. Jeff said maybe if the weather's nice, there might be a 37D there. Jeffrey might tow that thing down from New York. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something?
Is that a Firewood processor?
No, that's the Big Daddy diesel-powered splitter.
Oh, yeah, the one they had at the Paul Bunyan.
Yep.
Maybe he'll leave that and take yours back.
No, he's not going to leave that 37D. Has anyone ever asked or figured out what state or area in the USA burns the most firewood? I think that's supposed to mean per year. Gosh, I don't know.
I would say the northern countries close to Canada.
Yeah, like Wisconsin.
Yeah.
There's a lot of firewood guys up in back 40s area.
Guys in Illinois, man, they burn 8-9 cord a year out there with my family.
Oh, Rachel said she's going to make cookies for you.
Good job eating.
Jack said he was still hungover from the night before at dinner on Saturday. When we rolled into town on Friday, Jack, myself, and Chaz, we all rode together, and we got there a little before check-in, and our rooms weren't ready. So we kind of had a little tailgate session out there. And, this is the first time Jack had ever been to a show, and it reminded me of me the year before, where you're just completely overwhelmed and taken back by seeing these people and meeting these people and, just being away and at an event with like-minded people. And Jack started early and never let up.
Jack's a champ.
He had a great time.
Jack's a champ when it comes to drinking and hanging.
Yep.
And getting up the next day.
Yeah, I that's why I had to pace myself. Shive taught me valuable lessons in the short time that I've known him. Shive hurt me when he came by, and I know what the consequences of that are. Kent, what's the issues with the truck? So I assume you're talking about the grapple truck. When we brought it home from North Carolina, we blew a rod through the bottom of the block on a Cat C7 engine. Have it towed home to Maryland.
Country song.
It is a country song, a sad one. And it has been sitting at a shop. The old motor's out. The components from the old motor are being transferred over to the new motor. And we're waiting for the new motor to be put in the truck so that we can start using it. Chaz is making payments on the truck. He's not making money with the truck. I'm not able to use the truck. So it's,
and the new motor's sitting next to the truck with the blown motor next to the new motor.
Yeah, so it's
getting stuff switched over.
The
guy's wife and him's divorced, left.
Yeah, he's going through a pretty bad situation personally and hasn't had the time that he thought he was going to have to work on it. So Chaz has been very, very understanding, patient.
But I don't know what to do. I mean, the truck's too big to pull out of there. Got the motor out of it, got the hood off of it, got the everything.
You kind of want the guy that took it apart to put it back together. You don't want to have one guy take something apart and then take a pile of pieces to a new guy and say, put this back together. So that's kind of the situation that we're stuck in. It's frustrating. It's a sore subject, but hopefully he'll get his situation worked through here soon and we can get it on the road. So that's the long and short of it. Question from Shive. Sam and I have come up with a plan for your splitting setup for the fellowship, Brad. We will talk. I just saw your text come through, buddy. I will call you at the end of the live stream to chat. Marlon L with a super chat. Great show tonight. Thank you, Marlon. It is a great show because I normally don't fill up more than once, and it looks like we're about to fill up a third time. Thank you, Marlon, for the super chat. Bear's Den. Jim, I think that might be right.
Bear's Den.
That was the name of the steakhouse. That was the name of the steakhouse we went to. That, I think, is the only quality restaurant in the Cambridge area.
That gravel truck's there for the fellowship.
I hope it is too. If it's not there by January, we're gonna have to go fight that guy or something.
Yeah.
Tony, can I bring a couple of ported Echoes?
Sure.
Yeah, bring them along with you. Like I said, I don't know how much cutting we're going to be doing. We will be doing some cutting, but it will be in a controlled area this year, not all over the place like last year.
Sunday, so I could get my buddy AK to come down and maybe set something up and sell some stuff, but he's Amish.
He won't come on a Sunday because he's Amish. Yep. 261C is the best saw I've ever owned. It always runs, always cuts. Can't ask for more. 261, I think, I've documented this well. I think that's a great saw. Power to weight ratio is
the same as 271.
271 is the farm boss. 261 is the pro version. But power to weight ratio, I mean, you can hold that saw all day long, and run that thing.
Guy saw.
Yep.
Great step up farm saw too.
Jack says, I'm here to learn from everyone. I'm not proud to shut up and listen when I need to. That's a great philosophy. I live by that as well. You don't know what you don't know, and if you just listen once in a while, you can learn. I learn all the time from all these people. A lot of these people that are in the chat right now.
Jack, you hit a nice little honey hole there with some locust and cherry in it.
Look, Chad's watching you, Jack. He's keeping an eye on you, buddy. He's been bucking it up and loading the trailer and hauling it right to the yard, already ready to split. You don't have a way to load it. He needs a way to load it.
I had all them heavies and shorties that come off the jobs, and I had them in a pile. You know, little odd things. I had a whole dump truck loaded up yesterday, and I remember I was going to hit him up, and then I'm like, you know what? I don't have time to run down there and dump that for him, and I can't have him come dump it because he's not on my insurance to drive something like that. So long story short, I took it to board the box.
Yeah. I must be way behind in the chat. How many saws do you run? That's a question from Craig Wilson. What's up, buddy?
How many saws do I run?
Yeah. I mean, how many 500s do you have, first of all?
6.
He's got 6 500i. How many 271, 261s do you have?
5.
So there's 10. And how many 460, 462s do you have?
I got about 4 of those.
So there's 14. How many Huskies?
I got 4 390. I got 3 395s and I got 1 390.
I don't know
And
what
I-
we're to.
and
18,
I got-
20 saws. How many top handles?
6 of those.
25.
And I'm down to 1 pole saw because I'm proving a fucking point. Sorry about my language. I'm proving a point.
What?
Because I bought some and the guys broke them and they didn't tell me.
So you're making them work without them?
Yeah.
So answer to the question, it sounds like about 25, 28 saws, somewhere in there. And 1 pole saw because the guys are breaking them, so he's making them work without them.
For $700 a piece or so, $650.
James wants to know what's the nearest large town to you. Going to see how long the drive is. I am directly in the middle. If you're looking at I-95, I'm directly in the middle between Baltimore and Philadelphia. I'm an hour. Baltimore's an hour south of me, and Philadelphia is an hour north of me.
Bel Air, Maryland.
Bel Air, Maryland. I mean, we're about
20 minutes.
40 minutes.
20 minutes right down 95 from Bel Air.
Yeah. But I mean, to somebody that's not from around here, I would say that halfway point between Baltimore and Philly is the easiest way to explain it. Carnes makes stuff, saying good night. Glad you were here. Hope you had a good time while you were here. Dick from Old Guy Firewood. He's a good, cool guy, isn't he? Didn't Chaz get the last piece of blueberry cheesecake? Where was that?
That was at the Bears Den.
Oh, that's right. When you got dessert.
Yeah. Yeah,
Was it the last piece?
I think so. Boy, that waitress, wasn't she a true blonde?
Oh, gosh, yeah. Question from Craig again. How many saws do you run per job, or does it depend on the job? Do you alternate saws the following day?
I usually carry 1 500, 1 462, 271, and 2 climbing saws on a truck.
On a bucket truck? And the guys that run them keep them sharp, right?
You hope so, most of the time.
Well, Billy keeps his saws sharp all the time. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, when I see them cutting, they're sharp.
Yep. Firewood from the sawmill. A goal for the fellowship should be to fill up the wood yard, so Brad needs to start the Phantom row number 5. I'm going to have a row 5 this year. I've already got plans for where it's going to be. Row 5 would be a great success this year. If we get row 5 full, that would be awesome.
Are you going to have like a 50-50?
Not a 50-50, but we're going to run raffles. I'm not trying to make money on the event. I'm just trying to cover the cost of the event, you know?
Well,
Camp's Corner, does anybody know what happened to the NFA, the National Firewood Association Facebook page or company? Have you ever heard of that? I've never heard of that either. Maybe somebody in the chat can help you out there, but I've never heard of that.
I got
Sorry.
a question for them guys that have been wanting that. Do you have to have a firewood license to sell firewood in the state that you live in? Because I know in Maryland,
You do.
You're supposed to have a firewood license, and it's monitored by Natural Resources.
Yep, and I do have one, and you have to fill out an annual report about how much wood you cut, how much wood you sell, and pay a fee. But yes, you have to register as a firewood seller in Maryland to be legal. I guess your question is, how many other states require that? So does your state require that? Chaz wants to know. So a question from us to you tonight. Kent says you can't do 20 cords if you don't have it in the yard. It's all about the commercial. I don't know that word. Art. broadening, and being together. Yes, it's all about being together. I will agree with you on that.
Our bartering, bringing it together.
Sorry about that, Kent.
Big
Deb,
fan.
have a good night. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. We will definitely have to catch up soon. We'll have to work that out. But I just so you know, I'm interested in hanging out and getting together again, kind of catching up and reminiscing. That would be fun. Jack says these mofos need to get that motor in so I can buy some logs. Dang it. Yep.
Yes.
We'll have them for you, buddy. Definitely, that truck definitely needs to start making some money because it is costing
I
us
should have
money
bought a
right now.
brand new one, but
Nathan Wilson. That's an old trooper buddy of mine. We worked the road together and handled a lot of calls together. It's good to see you here, Nate. Your name came up tonight at the range about how well your channel is doing. Cool to see the Firewood community embrace and support you. Looking forward to the next fellowship. Well, Nate, I need to catch up with you guys more often. I hope everything that was said tonight was good. My ears weren't burning, so maybe that was good. But it's good to see you, Nate. Thanks for stopping by and dropping in and leaving a comment. I appreciate your support and everybody else as well. I do miss those guys that I used to work with. I tell you, I don't miss the job, but I definitely miss the guys. The best years of my career were the years when I was working with that guy right there. Patrick, Brad, do you have your CDL? Yes, I do. I have a Class A CDL with all the endorsements except for hazmat and school bus. I don't have hazmat because it's got to be renewed every single year, and I don't haul hazmat. And obviously, I don't have school bus because I don't need that endorsement either. But yes, I can pretty much drive anything. I've got doubles, triples, I've got tankers, I've got all the endorsements. I've had my CDL since I was 19, 20 years old. There you go. I'm a mechanic. There's nothing worse than having to finish a job that was started by somebody else.
yep.
I mean, I'm not a mechanic, but I know that when I DIY stuff or repair things of my own, when I take something apart, I try to get it back together as quickly as possible.
If it would have been like your something the size of a chip truck or something, I'd done pulled it out of there.
Yeah. I mean, I used to work on motorcycles for buddies of mine. You know, I had this shop here, the garage set up as a motorcycle shop. And I built a couple custom choppers years ago and, you know, changed motors, rake bikes, changed suspensions, brakes, clutches, stuff like that. And I would always order the parts ahead of time and have the parts sitting here so that as I took it apart, I could remember exactly how it went back together. So something like a motor change, you know, the guy that took it apart is the guy you want to put it back together. Red as white boy, breaking pole saws. That is because you need the 4-stroke pole saw instead of the 2-stroke pole saw. Do they make those?
Bring them to the
Fellowship.
and I'll buy them off of you. That's what it takes.
I've never heard of a 4-stroke pole saw.
We need that thing that goes on the skid loader too.
Hammerhead Attachments. We met them at Paul Bunyan. Chaz was having some pretty good conversations with them. They're still in the development phase of that skid loader attachment that reaches up. I showed that in the video from the Paul Bunyan show. So 4-stroke pole saw. Not sure.
I think he's a Facebook friend of mine.
Who?
Richard.
Titcomb. He's from North Carolina.
I think he likes
Yeah.
my
A lot of guys, Chaz cracks me up because he's always like, this guy friend requested me on Facebook. I think I know him from YouTube. So a lot of you guys are following Chaz on Facebook, which is cool. Brad, since you have 2 trailers, would you designate one to winter destruction of road salt or destroy both of them? To be honest with you, I don't really use the trailers much during the winter. Last year we had no snow hardly at all. A couple flurries, no real snow.
And every year they said it's going to be a bad winter this year.
Yeah. So the only time that I would have a need to have the trailer on the road in the middle of winter when it's snow season would be if he's calling me to come get wood, because all of my heating wood is already gone and delivered and I'm sold out.
We got apprentice truck for that time of year.
There you go. We got a grapple truck coming for that time of year. But if I were to run a trailer on the road when it's covered in salt, I would definitely make sure to pressure wash and rinse it off afterwards, because
if you get a pressure sprayer, like a sprayer,
yeah,
put antifreeze in it, and you spray down your
trailer with
trailer
antifreeze.
with antifreeze, they say, and it's supposed to help you keep it from rusting, or even little diesel fuel.
Hadn't heard that. I just got a notification that Taylor has arrived at home, so she must have rode the bus home with her team. I don't know if she'll swing in here or not, but Red Ass White Boy says 4-stroke pole saws are the cat's ass. You can just lay it on a limb and hit the throttle, and like the 2-strokes, you have it up off the limb to get RPMs up, then drop it on the limb. Have you seen those? I haven't seen them either. I wonder how heavy they are. They got to be a little heavier.
Who makes them?
Who makes them? Let us know in the chat who makes those.
And what number are they?
Dick, can you provide some hotel recommendations? I'll probably drive in Saturday night.
Holiday Inn in Northeast Maryland.
That's one that's decent.
The Flying J. What's that one above the Flying J? The Best Western.
Right there. I think it's the Best Western.
Yeah,
and Aberdeen has some nice hotels. I think that's where Jeff and Patty stayed last year.
Back and forth. You must get them on this side of the river once, and then.
Yeah, that's true. I'll tell you what I'll do, Dick. I'll reach out to you and give you some suggestions, and I'll also update the website and put some hotel information on there. I might even call
the hotel, see
if I can get a block of rooms reserved.
But you can't do that until you know how many people register.
Yeah. Yep. So I will work on that. That's a great idea there, buddy. You don't need a firewood license in Ohio, James says. Jack says he thinks me and him are the only two legal sellers in Maryland. I did look on the DNR website at firewood sellers, and there's not many. For as many people as I know sell firewood, some of the people that I know sell firewood are not on there. So, I mean, I don't know how much that is enforced, but it's always good to say, and I even have it on my business cards, that I'm a licensed firewood seller in Maryland. So I think that gives people a little more of a comfortable feeling if they're buying from you, that, you know, you're doing it legit. Here she comes, ladies and gentlemen, my volleyball star, Taylor. So you guys won the first set, lost the second set, and then you won the next two?
Yeah.
I had to leave to get here for the live stream, but how'd the last two sets go?
Good. The last set, the second to last set, it was like 19-25. And then the second to last set, it was like 9 or 11-25. So.
Oh, so you guys did really well in the last set.
Yeah.
Well, good. Thanks for stopping by here. I was talking about you earlier, and you guys are going to the playoffs now. They've been on a really good run here lately. The team has really gelled, and they've been doing.
Are you excited?
Piling up the wins. No need for a license in Missouri.
I gotta go take a shower.
All right, babe. Good job tonight. Congratulations.
Nice car.
Oh, thanks.
No license needed in Michigan. I must be way behind on the chat. Richard Titcomb is from North Carolina, and he stayed at the Comfort Inn. There's a Denny's next door. So that's in Northeast.
Northeast, that's a good hotel.
Yep. Question from Craig Wilson. You do not in the state of Illinois from the Illinois Department of Natural Resources, but you are supposed to get wood certified to cross state lines. Same way here.
Craig, where you live at in Illinois? I got family in Peoria and LaSalle and Peru and Granville, Hennepin,
Mm.
all out through there. Where my dad's from.
So it sounds like Maryland might be one of the only places, at least from people in the chat here, that you have to do that. Look who it is. John freaking Jeep. You signed his saw blade, didn't you?
I signed somebody's saw.
Yeah, that was John's. Yep.
I don't remember what he looked like, but I do remember the guy in the Jeep that drove back from the bear stand with no tail lights all over the road.
Yeah, that was around the yard. Yeah, he had a rental vehicle and he didn't know his taillights weren't on. We joke about that a good bit. Good evening, John. Glad you're here, buddy. It was great seeing you at Paul Bunyan. Dick is heading out. He's calling it a night. Have a great weekend, buddy, and congratulations once again. Mountaintop Outdoors, Jeff says that they dedicate one trailer just for winter. They have 3 dump trailers. They have an orange one, a blue one, and a black one, I believe. I would imagine, I don't know this for sure, but just knowing Jeff and Patty, I'm guessing the black one is the one that's designated for winter. Brock, thanks for the knife you gave me at Paul Bunyan Show. It was nice to meet you. I'm the guy with the Iraq veteran hat on. If that rings a bell, I know exactly who you are, and you are most welcome. Thank you for your service. Hope the knife is serving you well. My dad always said that a man should always have a pocket knife. Always. Boom.
I hung out with a guy that the second night there that we were there. He was from Eastern Shore, Maryland.
Remember his name?
I don't. And I talked to him for like an hour. I don't know.
That's the toughest part, is remembering names and faces when you're meeting so many people. Tony said they stayed at the Holiday Inn last year. Not bad, and it's close. So the Holiday Inn, that's who I'll call. I will.
Best Western, Holiday Inn, and the one next to Denny's is the 3 that I would suggest. And you probably got more room with the one at the Best Western, because it sort of sits off the.
What do you mean more room? Like parking lot? Yeah.
But don't take your wood splitters to the how. Bring all.
No, if you're coming the night before, get a hold of me. If you're bringing a splitter and you're coming the night before, the day before, get a hold of me and we'll get it in the yard early. Jeremy said, Chaz, he has family in Illinois, Dixon and Amboy. If that rings a bell to you.
No, but I'll come out there and hunt with you.
Craig says Peoria is about 3 hours and 15 minutes north of him. He lives in Prairie. It's about an hour driving from St. Louis downtown to Southern Illinois. Red As White Boy again. Peru, Illinois. Wow, what a small world. Your dad is from my neck of the woods. Now, if you say your relatives are the Halls, I'll poop my pants. Dude, you look like you could be.
Buckman's and Blanford's.
Buckman's and Blanford's from Peru, Illinois.
And LaSalle.
Still makes a 4-stroke pole saw, or they did. I've never seen that. I'll have to look that up. Jack, you just volunteered yourself, buddy. You are the name tag king, and you are in charge of name tags for everyone at the fellowship. Can you handle that, buddy? I will take care of the cost in purchasing the name tags if you want to take care of making sure everybody has one. N3D or N3QDZ. He's in northern Baltimore County. You're not too far away from us.
Wow.
Welcome. Glad you're here tonight. Sushi Sam says you don't need a firewood license in Pennsylvania. You only need a firewood permit if you're getting wood from state game lands. Pennsylvania is a weird state. They're a lot different than a lot of other.
Well, they got to cooperate with the Amish.
Rachel says, if we're flying in, what's the closest, best airport to fly into?
BWI.
You think better than Philly?
It's small.
What's small? Philly?
Both of them, but well,
BWI or Philly is identical distance. So if you fly into Baltimore, you got to come north and pay toll. If you fly into Philly, you got to come south and pay toll. So
I don't know if Wilmington Airport they're starting to do flights.
commercial flights.
Yeah. Now that's only 45 minutes up the road.
The two biggest airports are Philly and Baltimore. So I would say either one would be good. And Jack already has 200 name tags. That should be plenty, buddy. If we have more than 200 people there, I'm going to need a ambulance probably. He bought them for Bunyan and he never used them. Bill says, Chaz, J.C. Whitney home is Peru.
Yeah, man. I've got a big warehouse out there right along Interstate 80.
He knows right where you're talking about, Bill. Mount Tammany Ridge is heading out. They're going to hit the hay. It's got to hop in the Moffett truck first thing in the morning. Glad you had a good time. Good hanging out with you as well. Have a great night. Thanks for being here.
Who's the guy that made the hammers?
This guy?
Yeah.
Sushi Sam. That's Shive's buddy, Sam.
Yeah, man. He did a hell of a job.
Yep. I talked about that a little bit earlier before you got here and showed everybody. It's pretty cool. Yep, Jeff, we had 100 last year. I don't think it'll be close to 200. I mean, that's a long way for people to come. It's only a one-day event, so I was surprised that we had 100 last year, to be honest with you. But everyone is welcome. We'll make it work, however it works out.
Should we get a tent?
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting a tent to have some tables and chairs for people to be able to have a place to sit and eat this year. All right, we're still at 135 people. We are 36 minutes into overtime. We might as well get to the trivia question since I'm caught up on the chat. I've got a tough one for you tonight. And the trivia question tonight is, this goes back from this video got a lot of views. And so I'm hoping that I picked a question from this video because so many people watched it. So I'm hoping you know the answer to it. It's a little bit tough, but on the video when we did the delivery with the dump truck, there was a dog that came out and took a piece of wood that I delivered. What was the name of that dog? The name of the dog, that's going to be a tough question for everybody, but somebody might know it. Jeff says we're going to need a bigger fire pit. We might have a couple fire pits this year, Jeff. We're going to definitely work that out. I've got a couple surprises for everybody this year. A couple things I want to do that I'm not going to talk about. If nobody can guess the name of the dog, I've got an alternate question because I know it's tough. Now, this trivia question is obviously for whoever guesses it to win a whiskey glass, a set of shot glasses, a beer mug, or even a knife. If you want a pocket knife, we'll throw that in too. Snoopy, Big Dog, RC, Briggs, Lassie, Clifford. Yeah, this is a tough question. They were golden retrievers. Yep, there was two of them, but one of them came out and grabbed a piece of wood. So we'll give it a couple seconds here in case anybody does know the answer. And then I'll give the alternate question for somebody to win tonight. So let me throw the registration information up here for the fellowship for anybody that didn't catch it or get to the website. You can scan smart and stupid. That's funny. You can scan this QR code if you want to register for the fellowship. If you weren't here earlier, the registration was going to help me have an idea how many people were going to show up and prepare for food. Oh my goodness. Look who guessed the correct answer. Nathan Wilson said Theo, and that is the right answer. Nate, give me a text message or email me.
How in the world do you remember a name like that?
He might have went back and watched the video real quick. I don't know, but that was that. I didn't think
That's
anybody
the
was.
first thing that popped in my mind that he did.
I don't know how he got it, but that's the right answer. Nate, I will send you a whiskey glass, a pocket knife, just like this one, a set of shot glasses, a beer mug, whatever you decide you want to have. But Nate, you are the winner. Theo is the name. Congratulations, buddy. Bill says his brother used to live in Maryland and visit. We would always go to the Legion and Brandywine on some side country. What county is Brandywine in?
Brandywine, Pennsylvania.
No, there's Brandywine in Maryland too. I'm not sure what county that's in. This is rigged. Jeff said it's rigged. All you got to do is watch the videos, buddy. No, that was a tough question. That was a tough question. Like the 2022. I'm not sure what that meant. Elaborate on that a little bit for me, Jeff. Rigged like the 2022. But anyway, just to recap, the registration for the fellowship, these shirts are for sale. That will get you a shirt, and it will get you a, or it will help us with the cost of putting on the event. If you'd like to order one of these shirts that are on your screen right now, you can click on this QR code that's on your screen, and that will take you to the order form. We might as well change the little icon up in your top right corner to the logo for the fellowship this year. And the first 100 people that show up and sign the waiver form will get the fellowship at the furnace sticker. These are limited edition. They will not be available after the fellowship. 100 of them will be given out that day. So that is what I had to announce tonight. And let me get back in the chat to make sure I'm not missing anything. Firewood from the Sawmill thinks he meant the 2020 election. Well, we could go down a long rabbit hole about that. All right, I'm just catching up here. Thanks, Jack. I thought it was a tough question, but I was going back through the videos and I knew a lot of people watched that one, so I was trying to come up with one from that. Brandon, some of us are older and memories aren't what they were. I get it. That's why I had an alternate question prepared, and the alternate question was actually going to be what breed of dog it was, but a lot of you gave that away before I had a chance to get it. So luckily, Nate got the answer to the question. QR code isn't working. Which QR code, Matt? Is it the shirt one or the registration one? Because I know a lot of people have already registered. But anyway, if the QR code's not working, you can go to firewood@thefurnace.com. Right here, I'll put it on the screen. And all the links you can click on are right there on the home page at the website. So if you can't get the QR code to work, you can use that as well.
How many of them use Easton-made wood splitter, don't use Easton-made wood splitters, and why?
Well, I mean, a lot of people, I mean, you got Easton-made, you got people that use Wolf Ridge, County Line, a lot of the box store splitters, and, you know, people are in different situations. You know what I mean? Some people only split firewood for themselves. Some people are running processors. They're doing hundreds and hundreds of cords a year. That's a great thing about the community is that everybody is in a different place, but we all are able to learn from each other. I wouldn't be where I am right now if it wasn't for the YouTube community and for what YouTube has done for me. So that's why I'm so thankful and why I try to put on these events to give back to the people that have helped me come along. Jeff's heading out. He says, everyone have a great night. I'll see most of you guys tomorrow night on the Back 40 live stream. Yes, sir. I'll be there as well. Chaz and Brad, have a great weekend.
You too.
And with that, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. We are 45 minutes into overtime, and I think that's going to do it. So I appreciate everybody joining us tonight. I appreciate everybody that commented on the videos and helped me out with the name of the dump truck and is going to help out with this event coming up at the fellowship. It's nerve-wracking for me. It's a little bit stressful for me.
Well, it's something different that you're not used to still.
Yeah. So, but we're going to do it, and I want to do it for everybody. And I think it's a great way for us all to get together. It's winter time. People don't have a whole lot going on in the middle of winter, and Andrew will be able to stop by and see us. So it should be
one of them 65-degree winter days here in Maryland.
I hope not, because that means it's going to be muddy. I want it to be cold and frozen. That's what I want. But anyway, that's going to be it. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate all the super chatters, all the people who commented, joined us tonight, and the moderators for being here, even though thankfully we didn't need much help with the moderations. But until next month, on the last Thursday of the month, we'll see you at 8 p.m. And Wednesday, don't forget, Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. when that new video comes out. It's kind of a secret. Chaz knows about it already, but you all don't. You want to make sure you're there, 7 a.m. next Wednesday. Have a great night, everybody.